Hello, everybody. Now, today I wanted to talk about upselling after you have done your show or your concert or your recital, wherever you are in the world or whatever you call it. When you have got your school and your students and your parents on an absolute high, we all know that our show time is a time that everybody really comes together and we all start to feel that fabulous family connection, that real bond and that love through the show experience. For those few weeks leading after the show, you are literally the bee's knees in terms of how your parents and your children are feeling about you and this activity that their child goes to. And so this is your absolute prime time to encourage your students to take more classes. Now, I don't really need to tell you this because you all know that. Like, it happens every year, doesn't it? When you do a show, you get a nice little trickle of new inquiries, students saying, "Hey, miss, I think I might like to start tap. Like, I really enjoyed the tap in the show." And, you know that this generally happens. But you can just let it organically happen. You can let parents come towards you and ask about questions, or students ask you about certain classes. Or we could do something a little bit more proactive, knowing that this is a time when your students are absolutely in love with you and everything to do with their dance classes. Let's see if we can be a little bit more action taking in terms of using this special period of time. And I don't know about you, but I reckon it lasts for about a month. Like, the buzz and the high after showtime kind of stays within the school for about 3 to 4 weeks. And then people start to forget about it. Other things are happening in their lives, and everybody kind of moves on. So you have literally got that one little window that you can use to really make a difference. So, how are you going to encourage people to take on or come and try new classes in that very active window, that special golden time that you've got? Well, this is just a little idea for you, but maybe you could encourage them literally on the day that the show finishes or the recital finishes by sending everybody home with a little personal invite to a class. So imagine your child finishes their show and they're walking out of the theatre, and maybe you give them a little gift. Like, I used to give my younger kids all medals. So they went out with a medal. They felt amazing because they had a medal for taking part in the show. And then I also gave them an envelope. And in the envelope, it was a little handwritten card from myself saying just how I really appreciated their hard work and how I'd loved having them in my show, and how much I felt their dance had come on as a result of their hard work, and how I would really love to invite them to come and try the modern class that's for their age group, which is on Tuesday at 4:15. And I would literally suggest a specific class and I would put in the information, the day and the time. And I even then put at the bottom, just so that mummy knows, or just so that grandma knows, or whoever it is that is the carer, if you did choose to do this class, it would be an additional, and then I would put the amount that their fees would go up by. Because with all things customer services, it's all about creating the most incredible convenience that we possibly can for our parents. So if you were to just say, "Oh, I'd love you to come and try modern. It's on Mondays at 4." Probably that parent is thinking, "Okay, but how much is that going to cost me?" So now I'm going to have to email the school next week and find out what the extra cost is going to be before I can make that decision. So we want to take all those questions, we call them pain points, all the reasons why they may not take immediate action, off of the table. So if they know the day, the time, the location, and how much additional fees, how much their fees is going to go up in addition, then you've answered all their questions. There are no barriers to entry, as we say. Like, there's nothing for them to say, oh, yes, okay, well, I'm happy for you to try tap, but what day and time is it? Which class would you come to? Oh, I don't know, mummy. You'll just have to ask the teacher. And so then they wait a week, and then they forget to ask, and then they wait another week. And before you know it, that opportunity's gone. So we want to provide them with all the information so that there are no questions. In fact, you can even put at the bottom, if you decide you'd like to come along, just text Miss Sarah or whoever they need to text to say, yes, please, we'll be there. And you can even put the number that they can text. So this parent opens this card, child opens the card. It's a lovely, well done card. The child appreciates having this little well done card. And then the parent reads this information, turns around to the child and says, would you like to try tap on Tuesday, Millie? Like, I don't mind if you'd like to go. Millie turns around and says, oh, yes, please, mummy. And then all that parent has to do is text yes please to that phone number, because she's got all the information that she needed, including the fees.
Are you looking to get precious time back in your life so you can make more time doing the things you love? DanceBiz is a class management and booking software from the lovely folk at Think Smart that will automate and streamline all your dance school admin. It's the perfect tool for all those tasks that just seem to take so long, and will help you to work smarter, not harder. Message me today, folks, and I can give you a code so you can get 2 months free.
Now, this does obviously take time. Sitting and writing a handwritten card with the information and the phone number, putting it in an envelope, doing that for every single child in the school. If you have a big school, that's a massive job. And that's something that's going to take quite a considerable amount of time leading up to the show when you're super busy. So this is something that you could potentially start weeks before the show. Like, the classes you have on offer that are still going to be ongoing. The class that's probably most suitable to that child. Maybe they've shown some interest in the past, or maybe you feel that they have a natural ability. They'd be good at tap. So you can start writing these, or get your team or your admin, or get a friend or a parent or somebody that you can trust with the timetable that knows your school, obviously, that will sit down and start writing these cards for you weeks in advance. And if this is something that you think, I just cannot get my head around having the time to do that, then maybe just pick specific classes. Maybe you have a certain age group where you really want to build that part of your school. Or maybe you have a certain genre. Maybe you have great attendance in all your ballet classes because you're really well known for being a ballet school, but you've struggled to get kids to do modern and tap. So maybe you just target the kids that might do the modern and tap. So, it could be a target per age, a target for a specific class. Maybe you are planning on launching a new class. Perhaps you've decided to put acro on your timetable, or maybe you're going to start a lyrical contemporary class. And that's, something that's going to start in a few weeks' time. You could just write the cards and target it to the children that are the correct demographic. By that I mean the correct age and ability for that class. So it doesn't have to be for the whole school. It could be just for a select few. I would probably give out congratulations or thank you cards to everyone, because it could cause some problems if some kids go home with a lovely thank you card and others don't. But in terms of what you write in the card, you could make that specific just to certain groups of people. So what else could you do if that's not something that appeals to you? Well, you could pick up the phone. I know that sounds a bit radical nowadays. We don't really pick the phone up to anyone anymore, but just sitting down and first of all targeting the kids that you feel are most likely to want to do more classes. It could be that a child has been asking about a class for ages and the child really wants to do it, but the parent's been a little bit, I don't know, another day out in the car traveling to another location, maybe they've kind of not been terribly keen, even though the child really wants to do it. Well, let's target those parents. Like, now that they can see the value and they've seen just how much their child has loved taking part in the show and they're feeling all the warm, fuzzy feelings, that's a great time to pick the phone up and say, Millie's been asking about doing acro for a few weeks. I don't know whether you saw the acro number in the show, but these are some of the benefits, and then reel off why it's going to help Millie in all of her other dance classes, and I just thought I would ask whether or not you would like her to come for a trial session. So you can do it by phone call as well. And maybe, you choose 10 hot parents, 10 hot leads, parents that you think might be up for it, a week for the first 2 to 3 weeks after the show. That's 30 or 40 parents that you've picked up the phone to, had conversations with, told the parent how well their child is doing and how you were so pleased with her work ethic and how she performed in the show. And, just that you would really love to encourage her talents. And, have you thought about letting her start ballet? And so phone calls or handwritten cards. Like, we want to try and make this really personal so that it doesn't just come across as, oh, now we've done the show, they're targeting everybody, we're all getting bombarded with upsells. We want it to be as personal as possible. But of course, the other thing you can do is send out an email. Keep it really short and sweet as you possibly can, so that it doesn't look like a bulk email that's gone out to everyone. So, dear Mrs. Smith, I'm still coming down from such an amazing show at the weekend. Millie danced so beautifully, and I've been meaning to get hold of you to let you know that I would love her to try our ballet class. Now that the show is over and we're accepting people into the class again, I think, from what I saw at the weekend, I'd really love to encourage her to do more classes. Try and keep it no more than 3 or 4 sentences. And then don't forget to pop the day, the time, and the additional cost, so the parent has all that information to make that decision. Okay, so I hope that's been a little bit helpful for you. If you have just completed a show, or you've got a performance coming up, or maybe something for the next time, trying to use that golden window of time within the 3 to 4 weeks after everyone's on such a high to encourage children to come to more classes. I wish you all the best of luck with this one, and I pretty much can guarantee that you're going to get a higher intake of new trials than if you just leave the parents to come towards you. All right, everybody, have an awesome week.